issues and ways in time for get them away from the jails and away from drugs. So, Mr. Minister, when it comes to the issue of women, in fact, the UN Women is study we model. For the first time in history, we have opened accounts for over 1,000 women who don't ever get accounts. We sign man then we for pay maintenance for picking, they go pay only until they become 18. And we are also encouraging those women, don't empty their account. Some of them, if they say, oh, that man, they don't put all that woman, so this they go buy clothes and pieces to wear. So we encourage them, don't empty their accounts, 50,000 every month, definitely. So Mr. Minister, over to you.
Thank you so much. I really want to make sure say family understand this news, some of this information we just hear about the transformation we don't happen since 2012, particularly when it comes to legal aid. It said 2 million Sierra Leoneans don't get free legal aid. It meant thousands of women where in the past they not begin no way for compel their husband them for them to pay family support, but they don't support them, open accounts for them, and through the accounts they compel their husband them for take care of them beginning. So salon may not be perfect, and I know people them for pass doom and gloom, million job there for counter the doom and gloom. But we get structures that really function. And the guy say, even at the highest level at the United Nations, they study the model of the leadership we, Madam Carlton Hansen don't do in the structure of the institution we don't set up in a salon for providing legal aid for family. I'd like we end with drug-related offenses, because I'm a very good segue to the next speaker. But I also say a few weeks ago, he pleased His Excellency the President to declare salon that we get a public health emergency. The President said we need to tackle this emergency head on. For do that, he set up a national task force. He also directs that governments for put to attention for defeat drug and substance abuse, particularly the food crisis where, I can say social media people have memory short too. Just 2 weeks ago, they post every day, they tackle this, don't care about this, push, don't care. The leadership of Professor Fodesa and I see Mr. Kaikania and the rest of government, the leadership of His Excellency and this team we put in place, quickly when I jump into action, the government jump into action, we see some major things, including the town hall will be hosted. It bring the entire government together, and since then, I don't see with military-like precision, because this man, some people don't know, say I'm former general as well. You don't bring them together. Different pillars, a clear national strategy, a clear goal for really once and for all defeat this squish epidemic we get. Professor Fodesa, I want you 10 minutes because I want to let you, because this matter relates to a national declaration with His Excellency made, for them to provide an update to the people of Salon. Since the declaration, what did not happen, what did people never expect, waiting at the next stage. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for inviting me to this forum. As you rightly say, I'm not coming alone, I come with all the pillar needs, so I am highly protected with pillar needs. So I'm glad the way you asked me for me an update from the time when His Excellency the President set up his task force and when he appointed me as national coordinator. Following the guidance from the interministerial committee, the task force being able to establish a lean but very robust structure. And immediately after that, we go upon all the 16 districts for to call a scope mission that now for actually identify the resources we are available at 8 districts, and for actually talk to the district leaders and for know the magnitude of the push problem at the community level. After that school mission, we established for ourselves certain goals, and then goals were established for ourselves as a task force. One, that will make sure say we reach 70% of community nationwide with information on push. The second goal was set up for ourselves that will reduce youth drug abuse by 80% in the first 1 to 2 years. And 3, we want to establish at least 1 treatment center and 1 or 2 rehabilitation centers in each of the districts within the next 1 year. And 4, we want to make sure say we support at least 70% of individuals who pass through this program for make sure say they go back to school or we directed at the family with their families or get them to work. And the last one, but not the least, we want to make sure so we reduce the availability of push by over 80% within the first 1 year. The structure of the response, based on, again, the advice of the Interministerial Committee, where the Honorable Minister, a member of that committee, the structure is in such a way that we'll get the president of there, they'll get the Interministerial Committee, and below the Interministerial Committee, we get the National Coordination Committee, we mean the national coordinator, and we get a 24/7 situation room. That means anything will happen in the country, you'll be reported at that situation room there, and the appropriate person will go at task camp for take the necessary action on that. And then we actually operate on 5 pillars based on the declaration of the Federal State President. And then 5 pillars then. 1, now public information and risk communication. This particular pillar by the Ministry of Information and Civic Education together with the Ministry of Health, and then the leader pillar. And the main work are for make sure that they conduct nationwide campaign for increased access to accurate information on dangers of the use of drug or push. And the second pillar now community engagement. This pillar is led by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs and the Ministry of Health. The main work now for make sure that they engage all community leaders and groups for make sure to deliver all the activities of response, and additionally they work now again for gather and channel community feedback for informed response. The third pillar now care and treatment. The Minister of Health and the latest pillar and Minister of Social Welfare, the code, the main function and for ensure the availability of treatment programs for substance abuse disorders. Then secondly, and for make sure that they conduct testing to identify the active ingredients of the push. We want to make sure so we do that nationwide. Some work we don't need a free tongue, but unfortunately the scope is small, so we want to make sure so we get our samples from all parts of the country and test which are really the active ingredient of push. And the fourth pillar now rehabilitation and reintegration. The Minister of Social Welfare, the leader pillar, together with Minister of Youth Affairs and then the Minister of Technical Higher Education. The function now for make sure to provide a comprehensive recovery support, including nutrition, counseling, skills training, and reintegration to society. And the fifth pillar, we now one of the very important pillars, law enforcement and border control. This one, for make sure say the pillar leads them the National Drug and Law Enforcement Agency, the brother together with the Sierra Leone Police and the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. They are working now for make sure so they disrupt the illicit drug supply through investigations, arrests, and prosecutions, as well as for provide operational support to the other pillars. One thing we want to emphasize now, district leadership. The district level response, it will be led by the district council chairperson or the mayor where appropriate, and co-led by the district medical officer. We want to create a new structure, one right on the existing structure, so that even after the expiration of the task force, the activities will continue. Then moving forward, the task force will prioritize the following in the next couple of weeks. One, launch a national campaign. 1, disseminate accurate information on push in its dangers and available services. The second one, on a campaign, we want to make sure that the campaign targets frontline responders, families, and young people, and also for conduct a knowledge, attitude, and practice survey for gauge the effectiveness of the campaign. The second one we want to do is treatment center expansion. The Honorable Minister of Social Welfare did not do something we don't graduate the first 40, and we want to applaud them for that. So we want to expand what he do for at least for the next couple of weeks, start off at least one center at each of the regions. Then we can actually expand on that. And thirdly, post-treatment opportunities. We want to make sure that we map and secure resources for recovery of them people who will take into health center. The Ministry of Social Welfare, Ministry of Youth, and Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, they will collaborate for offer options like return to school package, skills training, and job placement. And be very, very close to the Honorable Vice President. Anytime we meet, he emphasize on that. You don't just take them, put them out, you don't get the program for them. And the last one, for strengthening drug control laws. My colleague there don't do a lot of work on for see how we can revisit some of them drug laws, some of them very old because they find them ridiculous. So we will work with the Office of the Attorney General for make sure that some of them laws them will review them. Partner support, I want to end with partner support. Partner support, very important. I'm pleased for inform this body say we don't get the cooperation of partners both in country and outside this country. They have been very supportive since the declaration by His Excellency the President. A recent visit by the Minister of Health and myself to USCDC and State Department of Health will yield a lot of positive outcomes. We will secure the following. For assess the magnitude of the problem, the USCDC agrees that we work between for can do an edit study so that we will identify the magnitude of the problem in this country. This night it came out from the meeting with the Honorable Minister of Health, USCDC. Also, they agreed that will help for providing with testing strips. When you use the urine, test this, the person urine, you will not see this person not take drugs. So the third one, we then say they will help you with educational materials. The educational materials that we provided, then the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, they will adapt them for your environment. And fourthly, they say they will help you for collect, ship, and go analyze all the samples that we will collect from all parts of this country so that we will know the active ingredients of the substance. Because definitely it varies. The conversion of freedom will be different from the one now, Kabbalah, or the one at Kailan, or the one at Boyamba. And last but not least, eventually they say they will help you for establish real testing lab in this country. So those are the good things that came out from that meeting in the US. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say if we all put hands together, we will face the challenge of drug abuse and make sure Sierra Leone be a brighter nation for all. I thank you, Honorable Minister.
You get clap all. Normally, people don't clap now. But most see family appreciates the thorough nature of the updates. And I can point out, say, while some people, and we appreciate where the activists, they go on social media and tag and complain. But after that, the work will be required for the door. People in the way they do that work there. And wait till we just hear it, now that while enough people like say this issue is trend anymore, the government, through this structure we don't put in place, don't put in place a very comprehensive set of strategies and actions that we will begin for implement. And with ministry, we come to the public education side, we get NDMA, we get other structure, the Ministry of Social Welfare, we all come together, we all committed to the same thing. We now for finally put an end to this unfortunate crisis that we got in. And I think say if family na supposed to be the one that wetin government dey do on push. Today, Professor Fudisa can give you a very clear set of updates. Which I will also commit for you as usual, and that this update will not miss you. We will make this video as well, and we put it on social media so that family will know they listen right now. We will follow. All right, now we get time for questions. I don't get some questions online, but I want to open. I want to start with you now because most of the questions we can online. An issue the way I think say the panelists had already addressed and the more foundational questions. So you know the rules. Last week, one more day, some people let me violate the rules. I've been watch online. People in Canada, they want to celebrity. The whole Naya, the only celebrities are the panelists. You not question they ask. Straight to the question, one question per person. If you want to ask 2 questions, what you for do? Use that scanner there, you send the question online, or you text 818 to AfriCell QCell by God power. Next week we will not finalize the orange as well. All network, you text 818, the camera and the iPad, and I ask the question for you. We'll give you the mic and 1 question. Rules. Not so? Dynamic society functional. Alright, let's see the hands. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lord cancel. Next round will cancel the one. Alright.
Well, my name is Mohamed Al-Zakma. I'd like to hold this newspaper. This question actually goes to Professor Sampoli. On Sunday, I do an investigation na Carnival. There is a place called Benghazi, where they have a support rehabilitation center for kush addicts. I discovered say most of the kush addicts within the place, they change their food. And according to the questions, they change their food.
Oh, they change them, okay.
Yes. So they change their food, and I asked them a question. One of the people that really take care of them. They say that for the split the movement so that it will less the intake of the drug. And that's it. And they can change their food for about 1 to 2 months before they free them. So the question is, you think say this is the right approach for actually minimize the intake of drug or any substance abuse by a country?
Thank you. Number 2.
Main demonstration John Kerimara, a reporter of Daybreak newspaper. Professor, please, you could tell me how much people on that push and how much are the lab centers for now?
Thank you. Next.
Yeah. We name Mahmoud Sila from the Nature newspaper. Mr. Ombudsman, you say, Lao says we will be the picking a fail for take responsibility of a concern for Ombudsman. I want to know, let me turn this to the government. Government around the world get the responsibility to provide education for its citizens. Is there any law that says if government fail for provide education for its citizens, they can take that government to court?
Good. The ombudsman a lawyer, so you're not going to allow lawyers. Alright, next. Would that have been number 4? Intellectual honesty again, I hope. If you know so before you put your hand on the decks.
Yes.
4.
Aside question from Mabon times.
Yes, sir.
The question will go to legal aid board. We want to know, according to him, provide legal service to over 2 million people. How many of their cases they don't win? And if one will not win, Unaki ever provide or Unaki will not ever appeal any case where the legal aid board not win.
Thank you. Number 5.
Feeling as a manager on expo times, so the legal aid. But you talk say the legal aid for they try for reduce cases in the court. And you and I know when somebody get problem or an issue with somebody that was going to police, and we police the charge and court then they go. Which means legal aid get reused or withdraw that case from the court and try on your own side. Thank you.
Because we don't fully understand the question. But we understand the question. So, until I get the question, so you know what? Yes, okay, so you see, you know what? No worry. Alright, so we get a few questions. First for you, Professor. This question about mode of treatment and whether, I think what I want to add to that question is whether job or within the structure, because it's something you're curious about, whether we prescribe acceptable forms of treatment or rehabilitation, and also whether we regulate, because you get people that really grab one to another one. And then secondly, this question about the data and stats on debt and other things. And so why don't you do that quickly?
Thank you very much. For the places in Benghazi, we know how we are found, but definitely as an institution, we government put together now. We not say we not go do everything. So the one that the private people that they do their practice system, I should say we can reach out to them and make sure we regulate them, because we get prescribed ways for handle like people that never treated criminals or whatever. So we will work with them very closely, map out whose side they lay, then the Ministry of Social Welfare, the Ministry of Health, and then we work with them for make sure we bring them on board and give them the best practices how to handle their case. On the number of deaths, since the establishment of this task force, we now get that kind of baseline data. However, the admissions between 2020 and 2023 of drug abuse cases or drug-related cases, we find out was a long increase by over 1,800%. And the CUSH specifically, the number of admissions based on CUSH, now the cases psychiatric home, it don't increase by over 3,000%. So definitely the number of admissions for drug-related and CUSH specific, it on the increase. And I think, then the admissions, as I say, the Ministry of Social Welfare currently, they don't discharge about 40. In the next 1 week or so, they're going to take in another 60 to 70. And in the next couple of weeks, as I say, the treatment center, they will stand up one in each of the regions. So we will work towards standing.
All right. Thank you, sir. Ombudsman, Mark, to you next. The question really about this, I think that the judiciability of education rights, and so whether, for example, rights in our constitution, say picking a right for access to education, but when they ask whether the person on your rights day, if he can complain to you or if law day. So maybe just clarify that briefly.
All right, thank you very much. Sierra Leone Constitution not provide for the justiciability of rights, and these rights for be enforceable. So, for example, like in the Constitution of South Africa, certain fundamental human rights are enforceable. I mean, you can take government to court because of that. Unfortunately for us, we do not have that in our Constitution. Now, no, please, we do not have enforcement of those rights as a justiciable right. Now, how do we come in as ombudsman? Now we get mandate over MBSSE and Ministry of Technical and Higher Education. So, for example, we have these issues of where students or pupils have been denied exams or for WAEC open portal, and we don't get complaints of where they say WAEC not great for open portal, so the local will then complain it to me. We have done that company, we have referred them to the ministry, and we are waiting for MEWAYEC respond to the complaints who don't send for and on behalf of them people them. And we wait on that, and after that, whatever the complaint is, we confront the parties, and then we start our investigation. So that's how the ombudsman come in. For say ombudsman will provide, say, yes, the law empowers you by the constitution for enforce what they call these rights. No, you can take them to court. But just like in the South African constitution, where it is mandatory by the government to provide them, they are social goods. There, it's human rights. Education is a human right, but it is not spelled out outright as you would have, for instance, in the South African constitution, where the court will listen and then they will be litigated upon because government failed for provide education for its citizens. So that's basically a good.
Thank you very much, Ombudsman. Legally, I think you had a couple of questions.
Yes.
One about data.
Amos case we don't win.
In
Amos case we
whether
don't
on
lost.
the appeal, and also whether on the appeal,
And whether we
the
appeal.
available. Yeah. In the second one, I don't understand.
So, the number of cases we legally don't win is a jigsaw puzzle. For criminal, about 30%. Because most of the one who they defend, they guilty. The thief man, armed robbers, highwaymen, all them kind of rogues and vagabonds. The one that we full up in the jail yard. And the tattered and torn human beings, we don't get nobody, and they legally they tip for. So a good number of them, Panami tips, breaks, you know, that kind of thing. So Nami chook, Nami kill, those kind of people. Even the wretched of the earth, I make the skin day. So in criminal, we lose most of our cases. And so Boku Pamilawyer, the North Congo courts, they are around. Yes, they ask him well because when we hold team meetings, say this particular period, when I don't get better than the court, all man go down. I say beer. But then in criminal, in civil, we get over 70% because we take cases for women and children, for people who don't get money, for people who are disadvantaged in property, and on those industrial matters, I only the lawyers for Labour Congress, all the unions in the country. So for those really where they the advantage inside a place, inside a home or property or that kind of thing, we succeed in most of those cases. So for reduce this man, the person will be and we are on appeal. Cases from Kono, other parts of the country where the court of appeal, we don't get choice. We just able to exhaust the tears of the justice system. Because in some instances, some people that have been very long found guilty, we know feel say that people they for go down for that length of time or they will find them guilty. So definitely we did in the court of appeal. For the other question, we nobody know me understand, but we me understand. He say for cases, they say we dey try for reduce backlog na the courts. So what about cases the way they na court? If we able for talk them. Well, when case go na courts, we're not supposed for talk because it don't go now na the main institution. But it will surprise you that even the judges they send cases them to legal aid. Magistrates they send cases to legal aid. Because some of those cases, you know, see aid, they don't see tail. Sometimes witness is not vocal. Maybe you know they're too long than the court. The parties are there, witnesses are not there. They will say, okay, before you can't waste your time before me, you're not able to satisfy waiting the law. Say, why you not go legal aid? So we are like the final very ground for cases in the justice system, and the police are also doing it. And again, what make her happy for legal aid? A lot of women in marriages, the man don't beat me, I don't want to go police, and we say I can't pick go to police, but let the person can legally board. So we are in that middle position. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next round. We focus on this side now. Journalists and posts. 1, 2, 3. You know, compromise journalists. 4, 5. We can't enter. Long to the journalist. You question, they ask her directly. Yes. Well, Nanda, no, yes, not, yeah.
Banya from AOE. The question will go to the ombudsman. I want to know what's my key TM, what you identify for your role as ombudsman, and how you plan for address there. And same also, also you don't envision for leverage technology for improve the efficiency and effectiveness of your office. Thank you.
All right. Number 2. Number 2, remember I said, with the jump you.
This Menabokari Kamana are the guide for the newspaper. Madam, it's not for you. I want to know if the lawyers they help and in this present treason matter will go on because the 8 accused we as see one time they do cross examination on him. So I want to know if when our lawyers they involved into this treason matter.
Good question, thank you. Number 3 on this side is supposed to be.
I want to reiterate on the question from the Minister of Information to the Ombudsman on this selectivity issue. And that side, when the Minister acts, we don't still get the clear answer, and we need the clear answer towards that. If EDSA give it bad light and point property, we as citizens, we get any right to read the Ombudsman for report EDSA, we can actually report Ombudsman because we don't see EDSA arrest people we didn't see light, they get power for that. So we now no rights. If they agree light, we
okay, very good question.
Thank you.
Next. Number 4.
Yes, me now, Bobodan Kamara, I write for New Citizen newspaper. This question about you.
My name,
okay. The question I want to ask you is couple of weeks ago, the main opposition party, they call it press conference, where they update members of the public, say ECSL they yet for publish documents that the tripartite committee asked for. And series of newspapers and don't write series of articles that say up till now ECSL not able to produce the document that they asked for. So from the side of the government, because since the last time I engaged with reality from my own part in relation to this, so I will waiting on our effort on our own for see how best we are going to law ECSL for comply if at all they don't comply. If they don't comply, one for no, waiting on the document to the door in the returning. Thank you.
Number 5.
Good afternoon. My name is John, and I want to ask a question to National Coordinator because the articles may not be able to answer to me, but I want to ask them back. We want to know how many people are affected within a treatment center. Then, how much do they know? That they know well, and how much we don't get. So please.
All right. The last one for this round. Let's see how we do, and then maybe we'll get another extra final round. Okay? So, I appreciate that citizens they ask this question. I don't talk very clearly. It's a commitment to that government will be responsive. In this press conference, while it is substantive, I will ask tough questions of government. Now, when I get government, we're supposed to hold it to account. That's why we create this platform. So I appreciate that question here. the question now that if, let's say, forget EDSA, if any other institution of government do something will injure citizens, somehow lost
for citizens or members of the public, we don't be agreed with the administrative decision or omission of public officials or public institutions for EDSA or any other institution. So like I say, if not to like you property bond, you get a cause of redress. Yes, if you know one go court, you can come with such a complaint to the office of the ombudsman. And the office of the ombudsman, what will they do? First of all, we are independent arbiter. When they say independent, you know they for this, you know they for that day. You dey come with the complaint, we look at the merits of the complaint, and then sure say it fall inside we mandate. So now man will say if you property bomb, obviously we go just like I tell you, one provide solution. But already EDSA don't tell you say now XYZ make lighten the problem. We don't certain the the transformer overpower, you don't burn the property. So we go make a complaint on to EDSA, we tell and say XYZ, we don't recommend this. But how if we enforce that recommendation? So perhaps we go say, go to legal aid board or friend lawyer, we go enforce that recommendation for ensure say they pay compensation to you. You understand? But you can come with a complaint if the administrative actions or inactions injure you as a citizen, you can bring such complaint to the office of the ombudsman. Right. But the excuses or the defense are already there in the public domain. So our duty is to provide solution to that. So when the excuses are available, how do we go around that? That's what I am saying. Okay? And somebody also asked, say, what are our priorities in the office of the ombudsman? Now, well, for me now, just three priorities. One ensure say ombudsman continue to be a credible and respected institution. So one thing we don't see over the years, we want to see the office of the ombudsman, people that get confidence in the office of the ombudsman. We read one publication, some people say the statistics where they conduct is always say the confidence where people get inside the judiciary, for instance, don't reduce. But when people get confidence, for instance, inside the office of the ombudsman, they go increasingly go to the office of the ombudsman when they get complaints, rather than taking the laws into their own hands. So one of my own strategic priorities or our strategic priorities in the office of the ombudsman are to ensure say we get a credible and respectable institution. So number two, another thing we want to ensure is to make sure say we improve accessibility and visibility of the office. In fact, what we make you see we go now all majority of the MTA there, and for make sure say we take the message of the ombudsman to the doorstep of the people. So perhaps the resources not for make adverts or make jingles, everything. So the best way you can contact the people without money is to go and meet them. Hold meetings with the staff, hold meetings with the management, and tell them what and what they should do and what they should not do. So that's why we have been engaging on. And like I say, lastly, waiting the ombudsman office don't usually be known about. And the fact say, when government will get problem, they go lay complaint to the office of the ombudsman, they forget the fact of the members of the public. So it's not only about government movement. So member of the public, anytime the actions of the government institutions or government official injure you or affect you in any way, you can insult. So the lucky with power, so for example, where NIA will refuse for the delay for make tax refund, or where institutions then where they grant licenses to, for example, mining companies, all that thing, they refuse for one or they delay, or they refuse for give people their rights, so they're waiting they're entitled to do. Those people can come to us and file a complaint with the office of the ombudsman. So that's what we do. And lastly, because of time, another person asked how would they use technology for leverage, how would they leverage technology for improving efficiency? Of course, this is not a world of technology. So for me, the social media has been helpful where there is not enough resources for. So now social media, you can use that without money. All you need for do, you get enough people in a group where they expand your message. And that has been very helpful, especially Facebook and WhatsApp. they carry your message far and wide. Well, for the one that way they read, but what about the people that way they never read? So we want to use technology for increase with jingles, for make sure say we get leaflets or these printouts on social media and other media handle for ensure say we spread the message of the ombudsman, because one thing, you cannot claim your rights if you do not know them. So we have to advertise our services, we have to bring it to the doorstep of the beneficiaries, and we have to ensure that one, people then get trust in the institution of the ombudsman.
Thank you, ombudsman. Thank you very much. When I defend people the way they accuse of high crimes like treason, and if when they do that, why, for example, in the ongoing treason trial, you see the 8 accused not a lawyer? If on a job now for provide legal services to people who can't afford it, why are you not doing it in this case?
Well, first of all, legal aid board will not just say go to court. We take us in case. The case is the way we go to court will we take. Now the one the way be behind bars and we want legal aid. But especially when it comes to cases like treason and some others. For this treason trial, now we virtually they carry the court martial legal aid board. Now we get the largest number of clients at the court martial. But for the private individuals who are not soldiers, they have never come across for ask for legal aid.
So they need for ask now.
They need for ask, they need for fill forms, they know how for access we. They don't say with teams that they want to chase. The funny thing about treason is, of course, like a set of people waiting time who overthrow any government in power and they catch them and make treason trial, they come up. Or there's an allegation that they try for do that. So invariably in Sierra Leone, the trend is they prefer some of the lawyers who maybe belong to some political parties, etc., etc. And you don't force lawyers on people. In such a way, they cross-examine so in no end. If you're not able for cancer, if you found for able for car across to legal aid. Yeah. So if you force lawyer upon person, they go find that guilty. You know what talk say that you make the person go jail. Right. So the scheme doesn't operate like that.
Agreements need for day. If once the service available, he seek the service and then will make available to him. Professor, it's back, I think people may still ask this question on data. So maybe wait an hour for expand the question for say, while we don't get the baseline data, as part of the task force job, whose plan will we get to make sure say we will collect, track, and publish credible data?
Yes, thank you very much, Minister. I mean, in what you want to do for the next couple of weeks, I clearly say, one, make sure so we get baseline data. Can be very important. As I say, we colleagues of the CDC now for Andrew before make sure Lord will study the magnitude of the problem. But as a country, this task force is just like 1 month old. We get data ready from the recoveries from Ministry of Social Welfare, we can recover. Then we get some data from the psychiatric home. Those are the only 2 institutions that they know. This kind of, my colleague just say, that's it. So I sure say we get many of them can place them. So we don't do Tinana for make sure so we identify all them private side and we work with them, get the baseline data and get credible data for this country where we will make informed decisions as a country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I think we get about 10, 12 more minutes, so I'll try to take one more round of questions. But this round, priority to females. No get woman ask question yet. So if we get woman now, I already asked question. Oh yeah, yes. Then I use so yeah, I already close the press conference. You ask? Okay, one. Any other woman?
Woman there.
No, I say woman. Let me say woman so only 2. Thank you. Any other woman? Alright, I didn't give you the chance, civil society man, will be number 3. This time we'll just take 3 because we're out of time. Sorry. 3. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is David Solomon in a important right review. Mr. Ombudsman, we will talk about confidence. So I also know which measures they want to take for ensuring the citizens get active access to justice and protection. And even the confidence we talk about, so how we tell it around putting place for many countries and citizens every day we get confidence in around. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2. You carry a man voice no. So the newspaper themselves are the first one to follow and they say female reporters for can cover the press conference because I will give preference and priority to females all the time. I know that. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Famous from Public Newspaper. And this is about the ombudsman. I just want to know if you can get the data on complaints where one they receive and how one want to offer complaints and into a logical conclusion.
Thank you very much. Solid question right there. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, this question about the Office of the Ombudsman. There is a letter from Sierra Leone Health Service Commission, and that letter was copied to your office, and that letter was copied to my organization. I want to ask you this question. What is the relationship between your office and the office of the Anti-Corruption Commission?
All right, thank you very much. So this round, ombudsman, I get this round. So do I for a sharp. How are the big trust? When I get data on complaints and the action they want to do, and that letter, this is the relationship between owner and ACC. Go on. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you to the those who asked questions. Now, I will say with priority now for ensure that the public get confidence or continue to get confidence in the office of the Ombudsman, which we don't do. Now, one of the hallmarks of the operation confidentiality. When I mean confidentiality, the thing they do, we know they publicize and so on social media because they involve sensitive issues. You understand? So now between we, the complainant, and the respondent, the people that will can't complain. So we not keen expose anything so people they know they know. So but the fact say now we don't try for advertise say the office day, number one. Number two, we don't begin involving ourselves into sensitive matters, and those matters after the investigations are concluded, we produce their report then so that people then will see them. Number three, if you go at least in over 30 to 45% of all the MDAs in this country, then will assure you say they have one way or the other don't receive assistance from the office of the Ombudsman, either when they come with a complaint or when they come with issue where the complaints need referral and other things. So we continue for project with them as that institution where people for trust and continue for rely on. And somebody also say waiting at the data for we complaints they would receive. Now please listen to this for information purposes. So let's take now from 2019, at least now the data they are getting now. So from 2019, we receive about 333 complaints. We refer 77 of them complaint them to the institutions that were necessary. So how does this come about? We mandate. So not all complaints the Ombudsman mandate cover. So if they complain they don't have a mandate, we can refer to, for example, Legal Aid Board, we can refer to Human Rights Commission, we can refer to Anti-Corruption Commission, we can refer even to the AG's office. So that's it. And how many cases they will get under investigation during that period? It is 89. And how many cases will conclude for that year? Now 167. So let's take to 2022, because 2023 there was no ombudsman. I was appointed in the end of 2023. So for 2022, we get 898 cases which were sent, complaints that were sent to the office of the Ombudsman. Among that, we referred 263 cases which do not fall under the office of the Ombudsman. So like I said in the beginning, certain cases the way legal aid not the go handle now, we dey send am to. Then get it we not to the mandate, now we mandate. We say get it when we mandate, if they case they can, and to them we send am. And that case then we get the one that we then under current investigation, we get 228 who still the investigation or investigations are continuing. And we close, that is the case that will done pata, the one that will conclude, the one that will help for many restore them at their position, the one that will make them take administrative actions, and then the cases that will conclude, it was 407 cases. So far, you were asking for data. There is a lot from 2019 to 2022. We have all those data. I don't want to belabor the point on that. So, lastly, the post is what is the relationship between the Ombudsman's Office and the ACC? Now, I remember quietly now complaint. So we have opened an investigation. So we've sent the complaint to the relevant party. So this is how it operates. You when they send you complaint to the office of the Ombudsman, or you walk into the office of the Ombudsman for make complaints, what do? If you are not educated, we will make sure say somebody take down your complaint, you write them down, you sign and send and you complain. Then if you are educated, we will ask you for do a written complaint. You send them to the office of the Ombudsman. We dey take that complaint, we send them to the person where you don't complain or the institution. So what we do, we just do a cover letter. Say we don't receive this complaint from Mr. X. Okay. Like recently, because of time. Yes. Okay. Yes. So waiting at the relationship we'll get between where ACC. Now we get a pending or we get a current or existing MOU, memorandum of understanding between ACC and the Office of the Ombudsman. So there are maladministrations or injustices where apparent corruption. Abuse of office, for instance. So if those things are happening and we have taken the administrative part, we will refer the corruption part to anti-corruption. So that's the synergy we get with anti-corruption.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to see we get so much substance in this conversation today. I just want to just do justice to that one question in time that we get. The question about whether waiting away role for compel PCSL for provide information or no information. President Biodo be very categorical from the beginning. We don't interfere in the operations of ECSL. They're an independent institution. We committed 100% to the tripartite process. We don't participate fully. And real obligation as a government will meet that obligation without question. In fact, the past 2 weeks, we all across the country for bringing citizens there up to speed as part of that process, led in part by government, the opposition, and the international partners. Now, question about whose information, whose data. Salonge laws, the laws are very clear on how you get access to certain information. And Salon also get laws. If you get particular issues with particular institution waiting to get rights like information from that institution, you seek the laws and compare the institution. I know some lawyer don't like and things like that, and we follow the rule of law. We think we don't do, we will not ever get for do. And for interfere in the operations and for give directions to an independent state institution. And I record the president we're very proud of, and I record we intend for maintain. Thank you. I hope to answer your question. On that very high note today, I want to take this opportunity for tell plenty thank you. On the confidence, I think the answer is small about the confidence issue. But you want to take 30 seconds maybe? Okay. Because I can also then for make sure say we start on time and end on time. Because I think commitment to time, not just how you start, it's also how you end. So I really for respect to my all my commitments and that against everybody here from 2 o'clock to 3:30. I have you seated in time and we are on time. So I'll take the opportunity to thank you to all the partners there. We follow you live across the country. All the community radio stations, the TV radio stations, and I want to congratulate AYV. I know they just make up to ESTV in Nigeria. I want to congratulate all the journalists there as well on World Press Freedom Day. I want to tell plenty thank you to the panelist there, Professor Fudesa, for your outstanding leadership in this fight against Kush. And I know the people of Salon, they continue for listening For more updates, I'm going to tell you thank you, Auntie Fatimata Houses, for your leadership of Legal Aid Board. I'm going to tell the colleague and brother, the Ombudsman, the lawyer Tijanja, for your leadership as well, and for the work you do. Until we meet again next week for another edition of the Government Press Conference, I'm going to tell you, una will come all detail. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum.